For a knee external rotation stretch, you are going to want to find the end range position of knee ER or external rotation first. And then the setup is a little tricky. So the way that I like to typically coach this is first grabbing the inside of the foot and using it to pull the foot up and then rotating out. So we're thinking about the shin rotating out. And then I will also grab my arm and I will kind of move my muscle bulk with my forearm. So my forearm of my other arm is kind of pushing my calf tissue to rotate and add just a little bit of an overpressure for ER. Now, I have quite a bit of range of motion here. What you should be feeling is a nice stretch through here. You should not feel any sort of pinching or pain over here. Pain is something we want to avoid always, so if you feel that it's too intense, once you're at the end range, if you are doing the hold for the stretch, you want to hold for at least 2 minutes or whatever your program says. Now, then we're going to perform PAILs and rails. So for PAILs, we are going to contract the stuff that is being stretched. For this movement, PAILs is going to be thinking about doing this motion. So it's moving the shin in the opposite direction, but we're still gonna stay in this position and you're going to rotate against your hand and your hand is not gonna let you move anywhere. You're gonna ramp that up to the desired intensity, usually somewhere around 50, maybe 75, maybe you're going to 100% or your max intensity. Hold for the prescribed amount of time, typically ramping up over around 10 to 20 seconds and holding for around 10 to 15 seconds and then ramping back down. So again, the PAILs is rotating this direction, feeling this stuff in your knee, contract and try to rotate. You'll feel a lot of the inside hamstring. Then you're gonna follow that up with rails. Rails is going to be the outside knee stuff, thinking about rotating your knee in this direction, but you're already in that position, so it's not gonna go, you're not gonna see a lot of movement. It might move a little bit more, but it's not going to be a ton of movement. You're just gonna feel the muscles working. So for that, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna contract those muscles at a low percentage, 10 to 20%, ramp them up to the desired intensity, and then over 10 to 15 seconds, and then hold for the prescribed amount of time, which is typically anywhere between 5 or 10 seconds up to 15 or 20 in addition to the ramp up time. And when you're doing that, you should feel like you're increasing the stretch sensation here and really finding these muscles. It's okay to feel some of your foot and ankle working because you are kind of putting a lot of pressure on them. If it's bothersome to grab your foot here, grab closer to your ankle so that you can get a little bit more of a contraction and a little bit more of a force and better setup to generate force. But ultimately, you should be able to find a position that works where you're able to do the stretch and the PAILs rails. Repeat those for as many times as you're supposed to. Make sure you don't push into any pain, and you should feel like you're gaining some progress over time.